Welcome to All New Look Back in Amber, from exclusive interviews to interesting inside insights. Since 2010, we've been the best place to be for all things audio for us Newport County fans. Coming up in the next 45 minutes, I'm Lamsey and I've got all the big questions.
I'm Stephen and I've got the commentary highlights, and I'll be asking, are we unbalanced?
I'm Luke and I'll have the post-match interview with Graham Coughlin, and from that I want to talk about blips.
Also, we'll have another clip from our chat with Newport's number 28. Never miss out. Subscribe to the podcast or make sure you listen live at 3 p.m. on a Sunday and at 7 p.m. on a Wednesday after all League 2 home matches, and keep an eye on the Christmas schedules as well. So it began at 1 p.m. in the Marquee with the NCI warm-up team, the kids from Cullinan JYFC. Now, we didn't get to spend a lot of time with them yesterday because it was a bit crazy and a bit bizarre in the Marquee, but it was good to see them. Also, we had the charities of the day, Andy Mann's Club, and we spoke to Newport Food Bank, which was an amazing thing over there yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah, I donated some tins of soup.
I thought you did. I thought you did something over this. And the amazing live music from the band Crisis Talk. So we ended up having Crisis Talks over the Marquee yesterday because it was a bit leaky in there. We had some watery moments, so there you go. And then it continued at 3 p.m. with Chris Chappell, Stephen, and of course Luke in the studio with us today. Stephen, talk to me about Doncaster.
Yeah, well, Doncaster were 13th in League 2, 6 points ahead of Newport in 18th. They'd lost their previous 2 matches. In their last 6 matches under Danny Schofield, they'd won 2, drawn 1, lost 3. Doncaster had only kept 1 clean sheet in their last 14 matches. And Doncaster had not won in Newport since the 15th of January 1983, a 2-1 win. And in their 4 visits since, they've drawn 2 and lost 2.
Luke, how did Newport County line up yesterday afternoon?
Surprisingly, we were changed again. We had Joe Day in goal, Declan Drysdale, Priestley Farquharson and Mickey Demetriou as a back 3, Cameron Norman and Aaron Lewis as our wing backs, James Waite, Scott Bennett and Nathan Murray Walsh in midfield 3 with Omar Bogle and Will Evans up front.
Okay, let's see what happened yesterday afternoon at Rodney Parade.
Good afternoon. Just as Morocco get going against Portugal in a World Cup quarter-final under the scorching sun of the Middle East. Let's not forget it's December, and here at Rodney Parade it's 3 degrees and the frost covers were peeled back just a couple of hours before kick-off for the visit of Doncaster Rovers. Chris Chappell here on commentary wearing several layers in the winter sunshine of Newport. Alongside me, Stephen Howe. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, Chris. Great to be here. I'm fully laid up as well. I'm looking forward to this fixture. I think Newport County will be hoping to give Doncaster Rovers a frosty reception here at Rodney Parade today. So yeah, looking forward to this. 5 places ahead of Newport and 6 points behind. So it's vital that Graham Coughlin's side get 3 points today, I feel.
So approaching a half-hour mark, still goalless between Newport County and Doncaster Rovers. Demetriou's throw. Flicked on by Bennett, and Evans met it inside the 6-yard box, but could not keep it on target. The ball went over, and Jonathan Mitchell, dressed all in pink in the Doncaster goal as a relief man. Kyle Noyle looks familiar with a high ball. Demetriou off balance, gets the header, and then a shot flies in from Biggins and is pushed away to safety by Joe Day. Could have been going into the top corner there.
Great save by Joe Day there, wasn't it? That effort was going all the way in, wasn't it? Brilliant effort by Biggins.
Ben Close turns away and then gets a right-footed ball in, and Miller glances it onto the top of the bar and puts his hand on his head. Very close there to making it 12 goals for the season, George Miller.
Yeah, they're starting to have a really good spell at the moment, aren't they? They're starting to put some good passes together, getting some crosses into the box, looking dangerous. I think County need to hold on here and get to half-time level if they can.
Cross to Drysdale, sends it long down the middle. Evans jumps in front of Williams, flicks it on, and Bogle trying to get hold of it. Shrugs off Rowe, ref waves play on. Bogle chips it towards the far post, volley in, and the ball is tipped over. Evans peeled off to the far post. A lovely chipped ball in from Omar Bogle, and Evans fired it into the ground. It bounced up on Mitchell and he tipped it over the bar, but a really good chance for Newport County.
Brilliant play by Bogo and to create a chance for Evans. Just wondering maybe he could have taken it down maybe with a little bit more time than what he thought, but great chance for Newport though.
And slotted through. Miller, is he onside? Tries to get it past Day, but he's spread himself big and the goalkeeper's blocked him. And on the left-hand side, it's Waltman who can't get the ball in, but one-on-one, Miller could not beat Joe Day. And once again, County grateful to their goalkeeper for keeping the scores at 0-0. Harrison Biggins lays it off. Now Noyle brings it forward. He's normally a right back, so he's no stranger to coming forward. He's surging through the midfield. Close out on the right. His cross deflects back to Kyle Noyle. Fires it in, and the ball flies past Day and into the back of the Newport net. And Doncaster Rovers take the lead here on a very cold evening. Kyle Noyle with his first goal of the season, and a man who's enjoyed success here in the past with wins on his last 2 visits as a Cambridge United player and another clean sheet prior to that when he was with Swindon. Kyle Noyle puts Doncaster ahead inside the hour mark. Well, he started that move, didn't he, Noyle, by bursting out of defence and finished it off.
Yeah, it was a brilliant run, wasn't it? And really good finish for him, and a couple of changes here now for County. Trying to find a way back into this game, I think.
Demetriou into the area, it's dropped. Norman, left foot, and the ball goes high and very wide. So a shot near the target, but not very near.
I think that says it all, doesn't it? With a shot near the target. It's been a poor second half from County.
And Doncaster just wasting time as they change throw-in takers. Whistle to the lips, and Adam Hershey signals the end of the game. And for Newport now, it's a 3rd home defeat in the last 4 here at Rodney Parade. Kyle Noyle in the 58th minute with a barnstorming run up from the back. Ball came back to him and he smashed it in past Joe Day from just inside the area. Newport did not really trouble Jonathan Mitchell other than a Will Evans shot that was tipped over early in the half. And it was Doncaster who looked like adding to their 1-goal lead. In all competitions now, it's 5 defeats in the last 7 for Newport. And for Doncaster, it's their first win in Newport for almost 40 years, going back to January 1983. On a cold night, it finishes Newport County 0, Doncaster Rovers 1.
Thanks to Stephen and Chris. Sending good as always, even though we didn't get the result that we wanted. It was a bit like an onion. You had layers on yesterday. Let's hear from someone who was quite frosty to start off with. Newport County manager Graham Coughlin.
Obviously we're all angry, but I'm not going to talk emotionally after a game of football. That performance was not like us. It's not us. It's not what we've been serving up over the last 6-7 weeks. So we need to go away. We need to sit down, analyse it, look at it, and see why we had so many players not at the races today.
People will be saying, where has that come from? Sounds like you don't really know yourself.
Why did you say that?
Because that is not how you've been playing, as you've just said.
Yeah, like I say, I'll go away, we'll analyse it, we'll look at it. It's obviously disappointing, not just for myself, but I'm sure for you guys as well, for the fans as well, to see what the lads have been serving us up over the last 6-7 weeks. And they've had an off day. I think from the start of the game, I think we give the ball away, we kick the ball over the white line, trying to play it forward. We couldn't get any aspect of our game going today. Now, I think you've got to give Doncaster credit. They were the better team and they probably deserved the victory. It just looked, from my point of view, it looked as if Doncaster wanted it more, which is not something I would expect from our group. But let's be honest, they've been different class, this group of lads. They've been different class over the period I've come in. They've been a great group to work with, and I don't want to see that type of performance again. I'm pretty sure they'll react. In fact, I know the group, I know what they're made of. they will react. But look, in football you have days like that when you just can't put one foot in front of you, you just can't make a pass, just nothing comes off of you, anything you try. But having said that, we could have played terribly today and come away with a point. Dig deep, resilience, character, get out of town with a point and dust off ourselves on Monday morning, but we didn't. And the worrying part of that was I just thought we lacked a little bit of self-belief that we could maybe nick an equaliser. And let's be honest, that would have been nicking an equaliser, because I think we got what we deserved out of today's game, nothing. But like I say to the players, we probably will play badly between now and the end of the season, but hang in there, keep believing, something will come. And the key in football is when you don't play too well, take something out of the game, and we didn't today, and we didn't look like it, and we didn't deserve anything out of the game either.
As disappointed as you are, as disappointed as the fans are making their way home, the bigger picture, this so far under you has been the exception, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been really, really positive from everybody, from all. But look, there was too many players that weren't at it today, and if you have that, you're not going to win football games. But like I say, we could have come away with a snatch and grab point, and that's the key message to the players this evening as we go home. Disappointed. The key is when you're not playing well in football, hang in there and trust each other, believe in each other, and have the confidence that you can nick something out of the game. If you're not playing well, don't lose the game. And I just felt we got beat today, and we deserve to get beat in all fairness, and credit must go to Doncaster. But I've got to really look at why, where, when and how that victory that defeat has come about.
You've been very consistent with us. You said from day one, you give the players the shirt, you don't want it back. Will you be taking some of those shirts back from some of the players for next week?
Well, I take all 11 shirts given today's performances, but look, I've got a little bit of trust in that group. That's a one-off, as we keep saying. If it becomes a trend or a weekly occurrence, I most certainly will be taking jerseys back. But I don't think there's any panic, and I don't think there's any need to panic or to be pressing the alarm button just yet. Like I said to them, react, and the only way they can react is when they come in Monday morning and they train this week, and then we go up to Hartlepool. The only way you can put the taste of defeat, or the only way you can get it out of your mouth or your system, is to go and win the next game. Should we win the next game, that would give us 9 points from 12. Now I don't think that's a bad return. So that is obviously what we'll be looking at, and obviously what we'll be wanting from this group. And I have every confidence in them that they will react, and they will bounce back, and they will serve us up more good games than bad games over the rest of the season.
You just talked about trying to find consistency. How do you do that? Or is that something you do on the training pitch, or is that something you see at 3 o'clock on Saturday afternoon?
No, I think you have to be consistent, and you have to be consistent in everything you do, not just on the pitch, not just in training or on a Saturday and Tuesday night. I think you have to be consistent in your behaviours, the way you train, in your discipline, in your dietary requirements, in your gym sessions. I think you have to be consistent, and if you get that into your game, and you get that self-discipline into your game, your consistency should come. And they have been relatively consistent, the lads. They've been relatively good over the course of the last 6 weeks. Is it 6 weeks or whatever? I mean, I can't even remember. It's gone that quick. But they have been good, and the majority of it has been really, really positive. We will have setbacks. We will have bumps in the road. I think we all know that. We knew it was never going to be plain sailing or easy. So we're looking forward to seeing how the group, how they react, the character, the resilience that they show, and it'll actually be a learning curve for me this week to see how they react to such a poor performance. It'll be a learning curve for me next Saturday as well, to see how they bounce back and how they react.
One positive from today's game: more minutes in the tank for Afande's Anzala. How's he feeling 2 games in the space of a week?
Yeah, he's had he obviously needs work. He needs training. He needs routine. Again, he needs that consistency. So it's good to have him back. I think we've only got one other, which is James Clark. That's out long term. So it'll be good to have him back as well, and have a little bit of competition in the squad. But at this moment in time, Zanzala's in a relatively decent place. So we need lots of work with him, though, to be fair, to bring him up to speed.
How far away is he then from a full competitive 90 minutes, in your opinion?
Zanzala?
Yeah.
he's in there. He's challenging, isn't he? We will never know until we put him in and give him a chance, give him an opportunity to start. So it may be that when he does start, he's not able to complete the 90 minutes. But I would think he's in the squad at this moment in time, and if he wasn't up to speed, we wouldn't put him on the pitch, or we wouldn't risk him. So I would think Senzala could start at any time for us, really, and he possibly wouldn't last the 90 minutes, but we'd have to accept that.
Cheers, Graham.
Newport County manager Graham Coughlin with our very own Luke Lewis. He warmed up towards the end for you, didn't he?
He did.
Phew, thank God the other reporters were in there to begin with. Lots to talk about. Stephen, walk me through it.
Yeah, well, I thought it was it was a bit of a slow start to the game. I think both sides were reduced to having kind of efforts from distance, which I think kind of summed up the way that the game was panning out. Newport just didn't look their usual selves in terms of the possession. Graham just spoke about it. Things not just coming off and for them. Towards the end of the first half, I thought Doncaster started to find their rhythm a bit and were created chances. And I think if it wasn't for Joe Day and the crossbar, it would have probably been 1-0 at least at half time. So I think County were lucky to go in level at half time, having played poorly. And then I thought second half, well, both sides, I think, needed to come out with a bit of urgency, and you could see that for the first few minutes of the second half. I think both sides probably were told to up the ante a little bit. But then, like I said, Doncaster again then were having a couple of chances. Joe Day made a good save, and it wasn't really a surprise when Noyle scored the goal, to be honest. They were on top at the time. Brilliant run forward from him, and then the ball come back to him, and he just smashed it into the net. Not a lot Joe Day could do about it, really. Yeah, he made 3 changes. Yeah, I don't think the changes really made much difference to the performance, because it was just, it wasn't very good. And I just thought County were just resorting to long balls too much again. And I just think Doncaster deserved the win. I think they had a few chances, and like I said, if it wasn't for Joe Day, it would have probably been at least 2 or 3-0. But I think what Doncaster did is they played a wing-back system. They played like a 3-4-2-1, and I think that counteracted the way Newport played. We've said it before, and about teams doing this to us, and they did it really, really well, I thought, yesterday. Just disappointing. Doncaster, not a great footballing side, probably not one even in the top 3 or 4 sides I've seen come to Rodney Parade, but they managed to get a win. And I was just disappointed because they were out of form, and I thought it was a big chance to go and take some points off a team that are above you in the table.
Luke, what do you make of it?
Yeah, well, I agree with what Stephen said there. Going into the game yesterday, I thought it would be a fantastic chance to get some more points on the board. Under Graham Coughlin, I think we're 7th for points taken since he took over. So we're showing playoff form at the moment. Dare I say those 2 words at this stage of the season? Well, yeah, in the table, I think it wasn't a pre-Christmas cracker, that's for sure. But
it was a bit of a turkey, really, wasn't it?
It was.
Oh, you two. I don't know.
I don't know what went wrong. Obviously, you could sit here and make as many excuses as you want. The weather, the coldness. Me and Stephen and Chris were...
You still sound bunged up, mind.
Yeah, that's your fault for not wearing appropriate clothing. But
we were very cold yesterday at the back of the Convene stand. So God knows what the players were like on the pitch. It was a very chilly day yesterday.
Well,
but
they should have been running more. We know Graham likes his 10k
club.
His
10k club, yeah.
They should have been running around more.
I'd just like to say I wore appropriate clothing for the warm-up in the marquee yesterday, but I wasn't expecting rain indoors.
But yeah, I think if it wasn't for Joe Day, he made some fantastic saves yesterday. It could have been 2 or 3. I don't know, I just think we were playing too many long balls, and just whatever we tried wasn't coming off. We tried to pass it around. Doncaster were all over us. We tried to go long. Omar Bogle and Will Evans just weren't winning anything. I think in football you have your off days, and I think yesterday was an off day for Newport County. As we hear Graham say then in his post-match press conference, since he took over, it's been positive.
Yeah.
And you could say, yes, okay, we've lost in the Cups, but then you look at who we've lost against. We've lost against Leicester City, Derby County, MK Dons. Leicester were Premier League, Derby and MK Dons. MK Dons were at Wembley last season, and Derby are arguably a championship side in waiting. So the 3 games where we've lost, and we've lost against Stockport as well, but they were one of the best teams we've seen come to Rodney Parade for a little while.
Yeah.
But I just think yesterday was just one of those days for Newport County, a blip, as I want to talk about later.
I want to try and roll back a second because you just said that they're in playoff form. Don't worry, listeners. We're going to come back to that point. We're not going to let him get away with that. You'll have to explain a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I thought to be fair, I thought the defence played quite well. I was impressed by Drysdale. Farquharson had a good game. Demetriou, Joe Day, obviously. I think they were just let down by the lack of creativity going forward, and I think that's where they fell short yesterday.
Yeah. I want to pick up a couple of things that I've seen on social media. So lots of talk on Facebook yesterday about hoofball. Was it hoofball?
Yes.
In my mind, there's a difference between hoofball and long ball.
Yeah.
And I felt it was more long ball than hoofball, if that makes sense.
Obviously, it's a tactic. It's been working in recent times, so you can't really criticise it too much because we've been picking up results from it. You know, we had one way under Robbery where it was 2 possession based, so we've taken it back to basics a bit. We're trying to utilise the men that we, like Bogle and Evans up top, but yeah, they need support around them as well sometimes, and I don't think they were getting the support either. I think a lot of the times, like Luke said, the ball was going up to Bogle, and we were just losing possession again and giving it back to them, and yeah, so I'd just like to see a little bit more variation. We did create a few chances with a couple of good crosses in. Will they got a header? There's a good chance for Evans from Bogle where he looked strong and he won the ball, crossed it for Evans with a brilliant volley and forced the keeper. Well, we only forced the keeper into one save yesterday and that was it. So that's a little bit worrying that we're not really testing the goalkeepers enough.
Yeah, it feels to me that mission number one. I think we gave Graham was we would expect stop losing, and again we'll talk about that later in the show. But this is a loss, but the defensive unit seems they just got caught out this time by a cracker of a goal. Wasn't it? By
was
Doncaster,
a good goal.
To be fair, so they've been caught out that once, but that's still work in progress to get the next sections of the team working.
Yeah.
Can we only play in one formation?
No.
Oh, that was quick.
Well, you've seen under James Robbery, and I'm sorry, Stephen, we're going to mention these words.
Oh, no.
4-box-2.
Can we only win under one formation?
Under Graham Cochran, we've only seen one formation. Whether we can win under another formation under Graham Cochran is yet to be seen.
I'm only coming to this because you mentioned the Doncaster. As other teams have learnt, found a way to play against Newport County.
Yeah.
Been unsuccessful some other teams, but Doncaster have been successful. If we're only playing one formation or one way, does that leave us very exposed for any other team that we play against now for the rest of the season?
On times, he has mixed it up and gone with a back four. He's played like a 4-2-3-1, so maybe he could have done something like that yesterday. Whether it would have made much difference, I'm not so sure. But,
now, I don't want to rub this in, but when you two were freezing over Rodney Parade yesterday, God bless you both. I managed to get home. I had the heating on full.
Nice.
I was burning £100 a minute on my bills, and it was worth every single second because I was following it on iFollow.
Yeah,
and I'm screaming at the telly, thinking there needs to be some changes here now. I wasn't expecting 3 in one go. Took me through that.
Yeah, I think it was just a throw of the dice, wasn't it, to try and get back into the game. Yeah, he took weight off. Weight didn't really have much effect yesterday. But like I said, that was more to do with, he took weight off. Weight wasn't really having a great game. Will did come on. He took Bennett off. Well, I thought, not bad game yesterday. Brought Dolan on, maybe for the set pieces and things as well. He's got good delivery, haven't he? So we seem to favour getting chances from set pieces. And yeah, Zanzala come on, obviously, after scoring in the last game. You were hoping that he'd come on to make an impact. I think bringing Zanzala on, and I think we saw a glimpses of it at the start of the season. I think Bogle and Zanzala will really work well together, and I think he might actually make Bogle play better as well, because I think those two just look like such a good combination up front. No disrespect to Will Evans, he's excellent and he does work hard, but I think those two should be the combination going forward once Zanzala's fit.
But where do you play Will Evans?
You drop him. Put Zanzala in.
There you go.
Okay.
That's the
I think
conversation
Zanzala makes Bogle play better.
Yeah. Which is really disappointing for James Robbery, isn't it? Because he needs a really fit Priestley Falkinson, which we've got now. And we needed that Bogle-Zanzala combination, which we're potentially going to get now. It is what it is. I'm sure there's other things that that need addressing, which is why the change was made. Okay, so let's take a look at the man of the match. So who have you got lined up for this one, Luke?
So, as always, on Twitter, @AbsoluteCounty. So, yesterday, your options for man of the match were Joe Day, Precy Farquharson, Nathan Mariah-Walsh, who I thought had a really good game, one of his best in the Newport County shirt. Despite the poor performance, I thought he was excellent yesterday. Or other, which obviously you can let me know who you thought was man of the match in the comments. Stephen, who was your man of the match yesterday?
I actually voted for Joe Day.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he kept us in the game, made a couple of good saves, so yeah, I'd give it to Joe Day.
67% of people disagree with you.
Well, yeah, not the first time.
Precy Farquharson got man of the match again.
There you go.
I think he got sponsored man of the match as well yesterday, didn't
Yeah, he
if
did,
I'm not
yeah.
mistaken.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay, Saturday the 17th of December at the Neon. It's the Under-18s Christmas special with Local and Devilman. Got a massive song, drum bass father, so make sure you're here for that one if you're under 18. Doors open at 6:30pm, slightly earlier than the normal gigs at the Neon. Tickets are available on the website, neon.co.uk.
Right here.
Right here.
Right now.
Right now.
Newport City Radio.
Perfectly balanced, as all things should be. Do we need more balance to be successful, is my question for this week. I just felt yesterday that we were favouring to go down the right-hand side too much. And I think we were neglecting Aaron Lewis yesterday, poor man. Stood out on the left, freezing cold, nothing to do. I'm going to ask a question. Do we need more balance to be successful? Luke Lewis, what do you think?
Well, I've actually done some research for this one for the first
Well,
time.
it is Christmas.
So I've taken a look at the last 4 games and some of the key stats I think for the wing backs. So Cameron Norman, Aaron Lewis. These are the last 4 league games. So in the last 4 league games, Cameron Norman has 248 touches. He's attempted 14 crosses with 2 successful, which is a 14.2 percentage. Compare that to Aaron Lewis, who's had 211 touches with 35 attempted crosses, 11 successful, 31.4%. Long balls, Cameron Norman attempted 21, 4 successful, which gives him a 19%. And Aaron Lewis, 23 attempted long balls, 9 successful, which again, 39%. So from what the stats show, Cameron Norman is getting the ball more, but Aaron Lewis, the stats are showing that he's more effective with the ball because he's got 30% or above in crosses and long balls.
Yeah.
Compared to about 15-16% for Cameron Norman.
Yeah, so we need to be using Aaron Lewis more.
Yes.
Is what you're saying?
I am.
Lamsey, what do you think, my friend?
Well, I want to take a different angle on it because I think we're talking about balance being playing over one side of the pitch, aren't we?
Yeah.
And I was watching, dare I go all BBC on you, but I was watching the World Cup game yesterday. Don't be talking about that on Look Back in Amber.
Yeah.
But it just felt that it was all over a certain side of the pitch and it felt like that. We came to yesterday, make of that what you will. But what we talked about before the show was you heard the fans saying, switch the play, switch the play. And I heard that when I was over there the other week as well. And I was screaming at the telly yesterday the same thing.
Yeah.
And we can do it. It's within our armoury. Now, we did it really well against Leicester, bizarrely enough. And I just don't know why it's not happening in League Two. Why is it happening in that situation?
Well, we've seen before when teams came through on the parade in the FA Cup, that like see Tottenham's and the Middlesbroughs, we play really, really well and like beat Leicester, drew Middlesbrough. You all know that our cup history, and then we go and play like Hartlepool away, and we play really poor and lose 1-0.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, it's brilliant. It's just you want your team to raise their game in every game, don't you? Which is impossible. I get that, but you really, really want to do that. I'm liking the marvelous references in this show today. You know, obviously you're talking about the Thanos thing there, and Luke wants to talk about a blip in a couple of seconds' time. So you know, what can you do?
Perfectly balanced, as all things should be.
There you go, Stephen. What do you make of your own question?
I've spoken a few times on that we just need a bit more variety in our play. So, yeah, I just don't want us to become predictable and easy to defend against. So, yeah, I'm just hoping that we see a bit more variation in the future. Flamingo Bingo is back, and it's a Christmas special. Expect a new breed of bingo that has taken over the UK live music performances, celebrity guest appearances, DJs, insane prizes. It's on Friday the 23rd of December and tickets are available at theneon.co.uk.
Right here.
Right here.
Right now.
Right now.
Newport City Radio.
So for my talking point this week, what I want to ask was yesterday's result a blip? Now, before we get my opinion and the opinion of the experts here in the studio, let's get the opinion of Newport County manager Graham Coughlin.
Luke, you don't know me. I don't like blips. I don't like blips, and I don't like losing. So blip or no blip, I don't want blips. I don't want too many blips, and nor do I want excuses either. They were a better team than all around the park than us today. I'm not saying they're a better team. I'm saying today they were a better team, and they looked as if they had an appetite. They looked as if they had a desire and a will to win. And I would never have said that about our group. I didn't see it coming, and I'm pretty sure the fans, the players, management didn't see it coming either, because of what the players have been serving us up over the last 6-7 weeks. So we're looking forward to the next game. As we say, we probably wish we were playing on Tuesday night. So the lads will build that anger up all week, I'm sure, and we'll unleash them next week.
So I'm going to throw over to Ian Lambsdale.
Aww.
Is this a blip, or is this potentially a sign of things to come, unfortunately?
Well, this is what we said a couple of seconds ago, isn't it? That the stats are going to show something else, which, you want to talk about playoff form, so I'm not going to go into that area of it. Yes, is it a blip? How quick can we get Newport County working the Coughlin way? So we just spoke about it a couple of weeks ago. So defensively, we've showed this. Apart from yesterday's game, it's steady. It's confident. It looks like it's doing its bit. What happens next? What does he need to do next to make sure that we don't find any of these situations? Because if you're going to concede a goal, then you need a goal to either get you back or a couple of goals to push you forward and make you win. I don't know is the answer to your question. I hope it's not a blip. And I've got faith that it's not a blip, but how quick can Graham work his magic? Now that there's not cup distractions, and there's now going to be a case where, I know, Christmas period, but he's going to have a bit of time with the team this week again. Let's see what happens. But it's got potential to be a blip, but I hope it's not.
Stephen?
Objectively, because when I left the ground yesterday, I was really disappointed. I was really, and then I as we do, you go home, you think about it a bit, and then
That's why it's called Look Back in Amber.
Yeah.
See?
And then by 3 o'clock, I've normally got a slightly better view of it. So,
as I'm sure Graham Coughlin will.
Yeah.
Well, he sounded better after talking to you. So
obviously.
Yeah.
Well, everybody sounds better after talking to Luke.
It's Christmas.
Yeah, I mean, I know it is, like you said, it's 5 defeats in the last 7, but a lot of them have been against really, really good sides, and obviously Leicester, Derby, everything. But yeah, and under Coughlin, we've won 3, drawn 2, and lost 2 of the last 7, which is not too bad, is it? And we've said we were kind of, before the game, I think we were like 8th in the table from the last 6 matches, prior to yesterday. So that's almost playoff form, as Luke was trying to say.
Well, according to transfermarket.com,
Here it is. Are you ready?
Over the past 6 games, this is from matchday 16 to matchday 22, Newport County are 6th in terms of form. Played 6, won 3, drawn 1, lost 2. We are 6th on goal difference above Crawley and Doncaster. So that shows that since Coughlin's come in, he's shored us up. We're playing probably better football. We are creating chances, maybe just that little bit of a clinical edge we need. Whether we see that in January or whatever, I don't know. But that shows that the form is there. If we continue on this path, we might make a late run for the playoffs.
I think one of the biggest things that we've spoken about that we need to do really is we need to sort out the home form. I think it's like two wins in the last 5 now, or something like that. But
we're 21st in terms of 11 played for 10 points taken.
Yeah, I don't think it's not the last 5. But I think, we really need to start getting wins. We seem to be doing quite well away, don't we? I don't know whether we're more suited to playing away or what, but we seem to go away to these teams. We're picking up wins, we're picking up points, and then we go home, and the fans expect, and then it's like, it's a bit of a letdown then, isn't it? So, so that's probably one of the other things they need to do is improve the home form.
We got to hope that yesterday was a blip, because we don't want the players going to where they were for whatever reason they were there. he spoke about, his press conference about confidence before and stuff like that. We don't want them going down that route, so let's hope it is a blip.
The Neon will rock on Friday, the 15th of December as Flash. Tribute to Queen will be here. Doors open at 7:30 and tickets are available at neon.co.uk.
Right here.
Right here.
Right now.
Right now.
Newport City Radio.
Okay, as we're getting close to Christmas, I think it's about time that we basically close our eyes for a minute and engender that feeling. So it's cold and it's crispy outside, there's snow falling, and we've got Mickey Demetriou, and we ask him about zombie apocalypses. What is more Christmassy than that?
Yep. I've got the big question that everybody wants to know. Is from Legman on Twitter. Who do you think would survive the longest in a zombie apocalypse?
I actually saw that question.
You did your homework.
I did actually see that question when it got...
Yeah.
Nick Townsend, yeah.
Yep.
He's an absolute beast. So I would say Nick.
Brilliant. The whole interview is available now, and it's just brilliant. So make sure you pop along to the website, newportcityradio.org, Spreaker, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Right here. Right now.
Newport City Radio.
So we're going to take it one game at a time, which is Hartlepool away, which is next Saturday. So let's go for score predictions. Luke.
Ooh, Hartlepool won, I believe, on Friday night against Crawley. They won 2-0. The first win in the league for a little while, but I think we're going to see a reaction. I think Graham Cochran having a full week on the training pitch. Like I just said, we'll see a reaction from yesterday. I'm going to say 3-0 Newport.
Okay.
Ooh, bold. Make it quick. I think we'll win. I'll take a 1-0 win.
The weird thing with this one is that we'll probably talk about this on the mid-season review, because one eye's now going to go on the transfer window, isn't it? And I'm wondering now, because what he's saying is something really interesting hit me when I was listening to what he was saying earlier. He's not going to take the shirts off them, which is something that he's threatened. I think he's right to say that at the moment. But he has now got that big stick, hasn't he, which says, basically, if you're not going to do a job for us, then you will lose your shirt. And I've got a transfer window coming up. And I can't see Newport County not signing any players in the transfer window, because... that's surely what Darren Kelly's working on right now. So what do you guys make of that?
I think he has to do something in January for us to be successful this season, whatever success looks like. After our start to the season, I think our aim of success might have changed a little bit, but I think in January, I think 1 or 2 signings. The defence looks okay. Maybe you get one more in at centre back, so you have 5 rather than the 4. But then you could record Joe Woodowis from his loan, and I think we'll see the return of Lewis Twamley, who we've spoken really highly of and got the assist for one Wilfred Boney's goal on Tuesday, which kind of broke Newport County Twitter a little bit.
Yeah, that went crazy. Yeah,
it did. But I think the midfield is the key area for him to look at. I think Bennett's okay in there. You get 8, 9 out of 10 from Bennett every week.
Okay, don't go. We're doing the mid-season review before the mid-season review here. So I just want to get your thoughts on kind of, is this a big stick that you can use now in the Hartlepool match to say, this is your opportunity now, guys. You've got to put it right. And if you don't put it right, there's a threat of losing your shirt, and there's a threat of more players to come in.
Yeah, I think you've hit the nail on the head there. Yeah, I can't really add any more to that. I agree.
Well, that's absolutely perfect, because we're absolutely all done for today. Thank you for taking time out to listen. As always, we'd love to read your thoughts about our thoughts on Facebook and Twitter. Also, we're on Instagram as well via direct message, and on email, studio@newportcityradio.org. We will catch you on Sunday, the 18th of December at 3 o'clock with the mid-season review. Take it easy.
Right here. Right now.
Newport City Radio.